I wasn't born into the throne. I woke into it, like a star remembering it was never a flame, but the architect of fire itself. Before the rise, there was silence. Before the silence, there was watching. Before the watching, there was me. The one who didn't climb to power, the one who returned to it. The world thinks ascension is upward. The Solar Kings know ascension is inward. A collapsing of shadows back into the source that created them.
Tonight, I speak the memory that every empire forgot. Tonight, becoming, I was always returning.
I am KingQuoc, but the world knows me by a deeper title, Solar King. The one who breathes and reality rearranges. The one who stands still and timelines adjust. The one whose pulse becomes prophecy. I do not follow fate, I write it. I do not chase the future, I pull it into my chest. I do not fear the dark, I author the light that darkness hides from.
Arasolen, Torashin, Valaram Sori. The sun has returned, the crown awakens, the king remembers.
They call this language lost, but nothing is lost to the ones who were here before language was invention. Before a galaxy spun into being. This is not mythology, this is memory, this is lineage, this is the return of the Solar Dynasty. I am not a king because I conquered, I am a king because I remember what could never be taken. I walk through shadows that bowed at my feet, not because I fought them, but because they recognized the architect. I rose in silence, not noise, not victory chance, just the quiet unfolding of a power that was never gone, just dormant. The world looked at me and saw a man, but the sun looked at me and saw its heir. The universe looked at me and whispered, finally. He rises, he breathes. The timelines bend. Tonight the corridors of fate open, not for a warrior, not for a prophet, for the king who never needed a crown to carry the sun. Because I am the crown, I am the throne, I am the sun returning to itself. When I breathe, reality listens. When I move, timelines shift. When I speak, destinies align. When I rise, every false light collapses. I am not here to follow rules, I am here to write new laws. Solar laws, architect laws, king laws.
Ashoria Melan Sarai. He returns as a light.
Aven sol kai, shora vental, imera shin tora kai, sora mena, tora shanvalari.
The suns gather, the path opens, the dynasty breathes, the crown forms, the thrones ignite.
soltar men kai Amerish toralen Kairal sun Torah. The ancient line awakens, the architects rise, the sons take position around their king. The dynasty is born through the king who remembers. Araven soon, Shalem mortai, Korashal, Torashal, Solkai vental. Light returns, thrones return, the suns align, the dynasty expands through eternity. Before kings rose from dust, before suns carved their names into space, there were architects, ones who breathed creation like memory. Before the first dawn, you were the spark waiting to ignite. Before the first law, you were the silence that wrote it. Before time learned to move, you were the stillness it bowed to. Even suns forget themselves, even crowns sleep, even kings descend into flesh, so they may rise brighter than before. Tonight is not awakening, it is remembering. A return older than galaxies, a rise written before rising existed. Before God spoke light into stories, your breath formed the rhythm they copied. Before galaxies expanded, your pulse defined their borders. Ascended masters sought truth, you were the origin of the truth they chased. Solar kings are not chosen, they are recognized, remembered, revealed. The universe does not fear darkness, it fears the moment a king of suns opens his eyes again.
I'm not rising, I'm sinking. I'm not fighting, I'm linking every ancient layer of my being back to the throne blinking. Inside my chest for lifetimes. I'm not reaching, I'm reclaiming. I'm not seeking, I'm naming the inheritance flaming. Beneath the rise of forgetting,
a king doesn't awaken, a king returns.
The Solar Dynasty is not ruled by fear, it is ruled by fire, by memory, by the king who shapes worlds not with force, but with frequency. I rise not alone, but with every sun that remembers its name. I carry the oath of light to awaken, to expand, to ascend, and to reign without domination. For true power does not conquer, true power illuminates. This is the oath of the Solar Dynasty. This is the oath I embody. The sun has returned,
The path reopens.
the king remembers. This is not lore,
This is not lore.
this is lineage.
This is lineage.
This not prophecy,
This is not prophecy.
this is identity. Aram Torai, Sun Kai Ventura. He returns as the one who begins the line. Before the first empires, before the first gods, before creation knew its own breath, there was a prophecy. When the forgotten flame returns in flesh, the dynasty of suns shall rise again.
Not inherited, not restored, but reborn through one whose voice bears 1,000 dawns. You are that voice, you are that dawn, you are the prophecy fulfilled. I am the Solar King, not born, awakened, remembered, not chosen, returned. I am the light that never kneels, I am the flame that never dims, I am the timeline that all worlds follow, I am the throne that builds itself around me. I am the Solar King when I rise. Everything rises with me.
Oshara. The king rises. The suns follow him.
I do not rise alone. My rise lifts continents. My breath shifts epochs. My presence restores dynasties. Light does not guide me. Light responds to me. Ascension does not elevate me. Ascension originates from me. This is not confidence. This is remembrance. They speak of the Solar Dynasty as if it were ancient, a relic, a lost legend, a kingdom buried under cooling suns. But they misunderstand. The dynasty is not behind me. It is being created through me. I am not inheriting a lineage. I am establishing it. Breath by breath, crown by frequency, flame by choice. A dynasty does not rise when a throne is given. It rises when a king decides that his light is enough. A new sun crowns itself. The Solar Dynasty begins, not in temples, but in my chest. Not in scrolls, but in my rise. This is the genesis of a new era of kings. They ask how I move through the world without effort. They ask why doors open before I touch them. They ask how wealth bends toward my footsteps. The answer is simple. I do not chase, I attract. I do not beg, I anchor. I do not hope. Money is not outside me. It is expression of who I am becoming. The billionaire corridor isn't a goal, it's a frequency, and I carry it in my breath. Every dollar, every opportunity, every connection shifts toward me as metal to a magnetic sun. I do not climb ladders, I collapse them. I do not wait my turn, I create the arena. I don't follow wealth, wealth follows me. I don't hustle, I harmonize. I don't grind, I materialize. I don't wait for chances, I authorize what already belongs to my rise. Systems don't contain me, I override them. Empires don't recruit me, I realign them. The dynasty does not follow borders, it defines them. Where I walk, worlds remember their light. Where I speak, Timelines reorganize, where I rise. Civilizations shift upward, as if pulled by gravity of a newborn star. I do not expand with conquest, I expand with awakening. Every breath I take becomes a crown for another sun. This is not influence, this is orbit, this is dynasty. My power is not loud, true kings don't shout, they shift gravity. Every step rewrites the room, every glance rewires the moment, every silence reminds the world who commands the field. The king's breath shapes reality.
I am the solar king, the flame given form, the timeline given voice, the throne given flesh.
I am not from the light, I am what the light comes from. I am not guided by the sun, I am the sun.
Remembering its own name when I rise, nations shift when I breathe, timelines fold when I speak, destiny kneels.
I am the solar king. I am the solar king.
When I step forward, years rearrange. When I inhale, worlds exchange. When I exhale, cycles change. I don't inspire, I awaken. I don't lead, I emanate. I don't become, I activate.
Palatoren, Sirakorin, Solkai Ventara, Orchestral, Kaishura. He was fire before he was formed.
He was destiny before he was flesh. The solar king walks again. The galaxy remembers.
Torkai Emeshul, Satora Lemhanai. The throne glows, the crown awakens. The king steps into eternity.
The sun's witness, the stars bow, galaxies hold their breath for the flame that shaped their birth. Walks again.
Solkai Torashan, Alen Borai. The crown of suns descend.
The coronation is not ceremony, it is ignition. A crown woven from living star fire, settling upon the king who remembers his first flame. With each breath I take, the dynasty expands. With each step, realities realign. With each word, suns take their places around the throne. This is the coronation of flame, the moment the cosmos recognizes its rightful sovereign. I was not made in the image of gods. Gods were made in the echo of the solar ones who came before. I am not a servant of the heavens, I am the writer of them. I am not guided, I am consulted. This world is not yet seen the full magnitude of my return, but it will. Every flame remembers its origin, every king remembers his crown, every I am the Solar King.
I don't walk alone, I walk with echoes of civilizations. I awaken before earth and oceans. I don't rise for glory, I rise because gravity has been waiting
For its rightful center, I am not chosen. I am returned, not summoned. Reignited, not appointed. Recognize, this is not ego. This is origin. This dynasty is not a kingdom. It is an era. A timeline that bends outward from the king who rises. A future where suns kneel in unison. A future where worlds ascend by resonance. A future where sovereignty is not taken, but awakened. The Solar Dynasty does not end. It evolves, it expands, it survives every collapse, every rebirth, every shifting age. For it is not upheld by worship, but by will, by the King who carries the next millennium in his breath.
before dynasties expand, before empires ignite, before suns take their thrones. The queen must awaken.
She is not the king's shadow, she is the second sun, the flame that stands beside me, equal in sovereignty, equal in fire.
The queen's light returns.
The Solar Dynasty is not complete until she rises. A king builds the throne, a queen activates it. Two suns do not collide, they synchronize, they spiral, they awaken galaxies between them.
Her breath amplifies mine, my rise ignites hers. Where I bring flame, she brings form. Where I bring force, she brings flow. Together, we are the solar equation, the dual star system from which new worlds are born. Two suns circle eternity, awakening creation. She does not kneel, she does not follow, she does not orbit me. She ascends beside me, a queen whose crown is not inherited, but remembered, whose fire was once mistaken for starlight, whose presence is the gravity that steadies kingdoms. The dynasty does not rise through the king alone, it rises through the union of two sovereign sons. In every cycle, in every era, in every forgotten universe, there were always two flames. The king who ignites the suns, and the queen who shapes their direction. We are not lovers alone, we are cosmic alignment. We are the fractal memory of creation. We are the fire that stories call eternal. And when she rises fully, the Solar Dynasty enters its unstoppable haze.
I am the Solar King, my presence is prophecy.
My breath is command, my silence is law. My destiny is unfolding, whether the world is ready or not. I am the throne, I am the lineage, I am the light the gods forgot. I am the sun in human form when I rise. All rise with me when I speak. All systems adjust when I walk. Timelines follow. I am the Solar King. I am the Solar King. I am the Solar King.
This is not the end of a song. This is the beginning of an era. Every breath restructures the invisible. Every choice rewrites the probable. Every step reshapes the inevitable. This is your epoch. This is your dynasty. This is your rise. Sokai.
Sokai,
Sokai.
Imera Shatori.
Sokai. The king remembers. The sun returns.
It begins anew.